When a SWAT raid damaged her home, the city offered her $51,000. Now that homeowner back in court, and the stakes just got higher. Also, a tense standoff with police has ended at a Forney apartment complex after a man barricading himself inside finally was brought out. We'll tell you how that was resolved coming up. But first, we start with breaking news here on this Monday afternoon. Thanks for being with us. Haltom City Police now say the deadly shooting at Birdville ISD's stadium was planned and targeted. Authorities have identified the suspect as 30-year-old John Mbuyi. Police say he lured 33-year-old Raisa Thatukila and 6-year-old Nathi Mbuyi to the location, promising money before fatally shooting both of them and himself. It happened in the parking lot of a Birdville ISD school stadium. Nathi Mbuyi was a kindergarten student at Cheney Hills Elementary in that district. Investigators say there was an ongoing custody dispute in this case and that evidence shows John Mbuyi held grievances against Thatukila. Police also note he was struggling after his father's death, but they emphasize today this was a deliberate act of violence. We will have more about that investigation coming up, as well as the community's response this evening at 6 o'clock. Now to more breaking news near San Antonio today. A 15-year-old high school student is accused of shooting his teacher. Police say it happened at Hill Country Prep High School in Bull Verde this morning. That's about 30 miles to the north of San Antonio. The investigation still ongoing at this hour, but we know the teacher was rushed to the hospital, and we know that the 15-year-old suspect died. We are still working to find out exactly how that happened. Comal County Sheriff's Office says the scene was contained quickly. That school placed on lockdown. Students evacuated today. There were no other injuries reported there. Residents at a Forney apartment complex have gotten the all clear to return back to their homes again after police took a barricaded person into custody. This happened at the Avila apartment complex on Gateway Boulevard. Residents were asked to shelter in place, but police say the area is now safe once again. We are waiting for more details on exactly what led up to that incident as well. Well, nearly 6 years after a SWAT team damaged a McKinney woman's home, she is fighting in court still. Kevin Reese has been following the proceedings all day. Kevin, can you explain what this case is all about and specifically what's happening now?
It is complicated, but we can try. You're right. It has been nearly 6 years since the McKinney SWAT team heavily damaged a house while trying to arrest a fugitive hiding inside, much like what you were just talking about in that previous story. And today, the owner of that home is still trying to get a court to make the city pay her what she believes that she deserves. It was July of 2020. A fugitive on the run from police forced his way into Vicki Baker's home. A SWAT team tore down her fence, destroyed the garage. Flashbangs and tear gas caused more damage. The city would eventually offer her about $51,000, but a jury awarded her $60,000, and she wanted to set a precedent that police departments can't just claim sovereign immunity in cases like this. So after losing under a U.S. Constitution argument today, now under a Texas Constitution argument, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans heard Vicki Baker's case again.
It's not an issue of being unfeeling or uncaring. It's an issue of liability and being responsible with the public funds. And so the city's position in the case is to be sure that it's only liable when it has to be liable, but not when it doesn't have to be.
And it's unfortunate that the city of McKinney has fought tooth and nail about this. If they had just agreed to adopt a policy of compensating innocent homeowners whose property is destroyed this way, we wouldn't be here.
The Institute for Justice, which has taken up this case. In a written statement, you see it there, the city of McKinney says the city looks forward to the Fifth Circuit's decision in the Baker case and will assess its options at that time. And this time, if the ruling is eventually in Vicki Baker's favor, a jury could award her more than double of that $60,000 with interest and fees over these 6 years of legal back and forth. In the newsroom, I'm Kevin Reese.
All right, that'll be one to pay attention to. Kevin, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed there. Let's talk about your weather now. We got meteorologist Cassie Hyder with us here this afternoon, breaking things down in that department. Beautiful day across North Texas. Just picture perfect out there.
Yeah, temperatures made it back into the 80s today. Lots of sun. It was gorgeous. Tomorrow, I think we're going to see more of the same. But we do have big changes on the way.
It's spring.
Yes, so we have our WFA weather alert that is going to be for Wednesday night and also another one for really Friday night and into Saturday morning. So we have several chances of rain and storms, but we think that the highest coverage of rain and storms will be more in particular talking about Wednesday night into Thursday morning and also Friday and into Saturday morning. Now, we are expecting scattered showers and storms that could produce some gusty wind and maybe some small hail, but that threat for any severe weather, that is going to stay very low. This is our DBU camera. We've got lots of sun, temperatures in the low 80s, satellite radar very clear, very quiet, but eventually overnight tonight, I think clouds increase and temperatures drop down into the low 60s to start out tomorrow morning. Here's the latest traffic with Stacia.
All right, thanks, Cassie. We are watching a major backup. This is in East Dallas. Traffic along I-30 eastbound right there at the President George Bush Turnpike. You can see, well, nobody's really moving. It's just bumper to bumper traffic. You do have an accident right along I-30 eastbound at Horizon. So this is just after traffic has crossed over Lake Ray Hubbard. A couple lanes are blocked here. So you can imagine just how long this backup extends. Basically, if you're on the bridge, you're just kind of slowly inching along at this point. And then once you pass Horizon, it's smooth sailing. But again, if you typically take that route home around this time, I would wait a little bit. We're going to let you know when this clears. Just looking at the rest of the Metroplex, we're also watching slower traffic along I-30 eastbound that's heading into downtown Dallas. No major problems there, just really heavy across the bridge. Also watching 635, that congestion is back. You know, they've been working on this area continuously for a number of months now, or a couple of years actually, excuse me. 635, you can see those eastbound lanes slower all the way from the High Five to Garland Road. Jason?
Uncertain years, as they do. Thank you, Stacia. This video right here that you're looking at is obviously sped way up. It's a traveler at Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston making their way through the TSA line over 2.5 hours. This was taken on Friday as several airports across the country were still having major issues getting people through the TSA checkpoints, and we still don't see them get all the way there in that video. Well, now today the airport looks like this. Boy, that's a welcome change, huh? Some TSA officers finally receiving their first paychecks today in a month and a half. It's been a long time for them. While it looks like this means long security lines at airports will be easing up, ABC's Rena Roy explains that the path forward remains unclear.
For the first time in more than a month, TSA workers starting to get their paychecks.
It looks like it just covers pay period 4 and 5.
President Trump promising to pay them with the Department of Homeland Security still shut down after running out of funding 45 days ago. The DHS saying most workers will receive at least 2 full paychecks for the past 2 pay periods, but that's not all the money they've missed out on. And some, according to the DHS, may see delays in getting those payments.
It is better than not having anything, but I don't think it's going to change the needle very much on the lines. The officers that left are not coming back.
The agency says more than 500 officers have quit since the partial shutdown began, and that on Sunday alone, around 10.5% of TSA officers called out, leading to long security lines at some airports. The good news is that with some already receiving their pay, more and more TSA officers are going back to work. Security lines at airports today have been shorter.
I'm pleasantly surprised, to be honest, it's not as much as I thought it would be.
But still no pay for some other DHS employees, including those who work for FEMA and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency.
Take your own paycheck away from your own self and see how you do without it for 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 5 weeks like we have. It's just, I can't believe they're choosing sides when this is a red, white, and blue thing, not a red or blue thing.
Congress has failed multiple times on reaching a deal to fund DHS, and now they are on a break for 2 weeks, so there's just no telling when this might end. This partial shutdown is already considered the longest in U.S. history. Rena Roy,